Welcome back, everyone. Ready for another deep dive. Today, we're tackling a company you might not know by name, but one that quietly impacts your life every single day, BlackRock.
Yeah, it's one of those giants lurking in the shadows. You might not see the name on billboards, but their reach is immense. We're talking about a company managing over $10 trillion.
10 trillion. I mean, is that even a real number? What can you even compare that to?
Imagine India's entire economy, their GDP. Now multiply that by 2.5. That's BlackRock's playground.
Okay, so huge sums of money, got it. But what exactly are they doing with it? Buying up islands, secret moon bases.
Nothing quite that glamorous. Think of them more as the ultimate advisors. They guide businesses, governments, even entire countries on how to invest trillions. Their decisions can literally make or break industries.
So like if BlackRock says invest in electric cars, suddenly everyone's building Teslas.
In a simplified way, yeah. They don't command, but their insights carry a lot of weight. And that brings us to the strange thing about BlackRock. They're incredibly secretive.
You mean for a company controlling $10 trillion, they're not bragging about it on every news channel?
It's very deliberate. They avoid the spotlight. Barely any interviews, minimal public statements. It's almost like they want to stay hidden.
Okay, now that ain't intriguing. Why all the secrecy? What are they trying to hide?
It's a question worth asking as we dig deeper. But first, to understand BlackRock, we have to go back to their founder, Larry Fink. His story is crucial here.
All right, let's rewind the tape. Who is this Larry Fink guy? What kind of person dreams of building a financial empire like this?
Well, Fink's story is classic Wall Street ambition, but with a twist. He came from a Jewish family, pretty average American upbringing, but early on he was fascinated by finance, like truly obsessed with how money makes the world go around.
So he wasn't born a millionaire, but had this drive to conquer the financial world.
Exactly. And he was good at it. Rose through the ranks at First Boston, a big investment bank back then. By 31, he was a managing director. Think about that, barely out of his 20s.
Wow, must have been one sharp cookie. But what made him stand out? Was he just lucky?
Luck plays a role, sure, but Fink was also incredibly skilled at spotting opportunities others missed. He mastered this new thing, mortgage-backed securities, basically bundling mortgages and selling them as investments.
Sounds complicated. Did it work?
Oh, did it ever? Reports say he made $1 billion in profit for First Boston using the strategy. $1 billion.
Okay, now that is the Midas touch. So everything he touched turned to gold.
Well, almost. Even financial geniuses can make mistakes. And Fink's career had this dramatic turn, a major stumble. He miscalculated some interest rates, led to a huge or loss for First Boston.
Huge how? Like lunch money huge or...
Try $100 million? Huge?
Ouch. That's gotta hurt. Even for Wall Street. So what happened? Did he get fired for that kind of blunder?
Yeah, despite his past successes, that loss was his downfall at First Boston. But, and here's the thing, sometimes you gotta fall to climb higher. This setback was the turning point that led to BlackRock.
Wait, so losing $100 million was the best thing that ever happened to him? How does that work?
That's where another big name enters the picture. Steve Schwarzman, the founder of Blackstone, another financial giant.
Hold on, wasn't Blackstone managing a ton of money too? Were we talking about the same guys?
One and the same. And this is where the connections get interesting. Schwarzman saw potential in Fink, even after the huge loss. Took a gamble, gave him the seed money to start fresh.
So even having messed up big time, Fink still had people believing in him. That's some serious reputation.
Schwarzman clearly saw something special. Fink's new vision was all about understanding and managing risk, which became the core of BlackRock.
Okay, so we've got ambition, a dramatic fall from grace, a rival investor stepping in. This is getting good. It's like a financial thriller movie or something.
You're not wrong, and we've only just scratched the surface of BlackRock's story.
All right, so before we go deeper, quick recap. BlackRock, huge company, tons of money, secretive founder with a roller coaster career. Did I miss anything?
You got it. They advise everyone on how to invest, but no one really knows how they operate. That's the mystery we're about to unravel.
This is way more interesting than I expected. What's next on our deep dive agenda?
Next, we'll uncover the strategies that made BlackRock so powerful. We'll look at the ethical side of things. Is all this power a good thing? And we'll see how their decisions affect regular people like you and me.
Can't wait. I'm already hooked. This is like peeking behind the curtain of the financial world, seeing how it all actually works.
That's exactly what we're aiming for, so buckle up, because things are about to get even more interesting. So we've established BlackRock manages a mind-boggling amount of money, but what's their secret sauce? How do they actually operate?
Yeah, we keep saying advise, but it's hard to picture. Is it all supercomputers and algorithms like some Wall Street sci-fi movie?
Tech's definitely important, but it's more than just number crunching. They've got these massive teams of analysts constantly monitoring the global markets, sniffing out risks and opportunities. It's a 24/7 operation.
Okay, so it's not as simple as picking stocks that'll go up tomorrow. There's actual strategy involved.
Big time. BlackRock's whole philosophy is built around understanding and managing risk. They create these super sophisticated models trying to predict market trends, figure out how stable different investments are, and then advise clients on how to spread their bets, so to speak.
Diversify, right? Don't put all your eggs in one basket and all that. Makes sense when you're dealing with trillions.
Yeah.
But how do they actually influence decisions? Are they like telling governments what to do?
It's subtler than that. Their power comes from their expertise, seeing things others miss. Like, remember the Greek debt crisis a while back? European leaders were scrambling, and who did they call for advice? BlackRock.
So they're the financial firefighters, coming in to save the day when the economies go haywire.
Pretty much. They've got this deep understanding of how global markets work, and a track record that makes them the go-to guys for anyone facing tough financial challenges.
But doesn't that level of influence raise some red flags? Who keeps them in check? What if their advice backfires?
Now you're hitting on the big question. It's something people debate a lot, the ethics of BlackRock's power. Because, let's face it, they're not elected officials, yet their choices affect millions, even billions of lives.
Right. It's not like we voted for them to manage the world's money. So, are there any rules, any oversight to make sure they're not acting recklessly?
That's where it gets complicated. They do operate within the existing regulations for financial institutions, but some argue those rules aren't strong enough for a company as huge and influential as BlackRock. They're not a bank in the traditional sense, yet they can move markets with a single decision.
And the whole staying in the shadows thing doesn't exactly build trust, does it? Just fuels those conspiracy theories that there's some kind of secret society controlling everything.
Yeah, the secrecy definitely doesn't help. You'd think being more open about their operations might ease some concerns, show people they're not hiding anything shady.
Makes you wonder what they're so afraid of. All right, let's shift gears for a sec. We talked about Larry Fink's obsession with risk. How did that translate into BlackRock's actual strategies?
Well, one big thing is their focus on the long game, long-term value creation. Instead of chasing quick profits, they're looking for investments that are sustainable, that will hold up over time.
So they're not just about making a quick buck. They're thinking about the bigger picture, the impact years down the line.
Precisely. They get that their decisions have far-reaching consequences, and they claim to take that seriously. Like, they've been pretty vocal about pushing companies to address climate change, invest in green energy, that sort of thing.
So using their clout to steer things in a more sustainable direction,
Yeah.
that's got to count for something, right?
Yeah.
But how do they balance that with, well, making money for their clients? Those two things don't always go hand in hand.
That's the million-dollar question. And they've faced their share of criticism. Some say they're not doing enough to ditch fossil fuels or truly push for ethical practices. Others argue they're striking a balance, engaging with companies to change from within, instead of just pulling out their investments.
Sounds like a tightrope walk.
Even with all their resources, a company like BlackRock still faces tough choices.
Absolutely. Managing trillions in a world facing this many challenges, it's uncharted territory. Raises a ton of questions about power, responsibility, and how these financial giants shape our future.
This is eye-opening stuff. Really makes you think about the bigger picture. What's coming up next in our BlackRock exploration?
Well, now that we've got the basics, we're going to zoom out even further, see how BlackRock's decisions ripple outwards, affecting everyday folks like us. And we'll look at what happens when so much financial power is concentrated in one place.
Okay, I'm officially intrigued. BlackRock might seem like this distant corporate entity, but it's becoming clearer and clearer how much they impact our lives. That's the whole point of this deep dive, right? To connect the dots, see how these seemingly abstract financial forces actually shape the world around us.
Okay, so we've spent this whole deep dive talking about BlackRock, their power, their influence. But I gotta ask, how does any of this affect, like, me? I'm not exactly a Wall Street tycoon.
That's the thing, right? It's easy to see these financial giants as this separate world, something that doesn't really touch our daily lives. But the reality is, BlackRock's decisions have these ripple effects, and they reach us all in ways we might not even realize.
So it's not just about abstract numbers and stock prices. There are real-world consequences to what they do.
Big time. Think about it. BlackRock's investments can literally decide which companies succeed, which ones struggle. That impacts jobs, the economy, even the prices we pay for stuff at the store.
So, like, they could decide whether a factory in my town stays open or shuts down.
Exactly. And it goes beyond just businesses. They invest heavily in infrastructure, things like roads and bridges, renewable energy projects, even housing developments.
Wow, so they're shaping the actual landscape around us, not just the financial one. It's all starting to feel a lot less abstract.
That's the point. BlackRock's not operating in a vacuum. Their decisions are shaping the world we live in, for better or worse. And that's why it's so important to understand how they work, what drives their choices.
I'm getting that now.
Yeah.
But it's also kind of overwhelming. You know, it feels like there's so much happening behind the scenes that we're just not aware of. What can we even do about it? As individuals, I mean.
It's a complex system, no doubt. But there are things we can do. Staying informed about the companies we invest in, thinking about the impact of our own financial choices, having conversations about responsible investing. These are all ways to be more conscious participants rather than just passengers.
So it's about being aware of those connections, right? Between our own lives and these larger financial forces. We might not be dealing with billions, but our choices still matter.
Absolutely. And it's not just about BlackRock. They're just one player in this whole web. There are tons of institutions, corporations, individuals making decisions that shape the world every day. The more we understand these systems, the better we can navigate them.
I'm definitely feeling more informed and maybe even a little empowered after this whole deep dive. It's like, I used to think finance was just numbers and charts, but it's about so much more than that.
That's the beauty of exploring, right? It challenges how we see things and helps us understand how the world really works. And hey, maybe it even motivates us to get involved, try to shape things for the better.
Well said. I think we've done a pretty good job taking this deep dive into BlackRock. We cover their history, their strategies, their influence, and the ethical questions that come with all that power. It's been quite a journey.
It has, and hopefully it sparked some curiosity in our listeners, made them want to keep learning about these forces shaping our world.
Absolutely. So until next time, keep exploring, keep asking questions, and keep taking those deep dives.